2, 1. Showtime.
Hello, everybody. All right, so we're going to wait a few minutes and let everybody start joining in and get situated. And so welcome. I'm not going to keep doing that chair. So excuse the squeaky chair. So tonight there's no sale. We're just going to do Q&A. So for anyone that watches this on replay, still you can feel free to comment in the box below and tag us, and we'll get back to you with any additional questions that we may not have answered in the live broadcast. So I'm just going to wait a minute or two and let everybody join.
You see when they start coming up, right?
Yeah, there's one person. One person on here. Hello. Wait a little bit longer. Thanks for joining us. Sometimes it's not always accurate, I find. It jumps around with the numbers.
One viewer.
One viewer. Thanks for joining us, one viewer. We'll just wait like another minute or so, and then we'll just go ahead and get started. Hold on, one viewer. Hey, Kayla, how are you?
Hello.
This is my husband, Joe. Joe Fisher.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Get a couple more people. All right, so tonight we're going to do a little Q&A. We'll also announce the winner for the free pair of leggings. So thank you all that submitted questions for tonight. We really appreciate that. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and answer all the questions that were submitted. And then we'll also just briefly talk about my why, how I got into LuLaRoe, how I was introduced, how he feels about it, how we're doing, you know, all of that stuff. Carrie, welcome, girl.
What's up, Carrie?
So, this is his debut on Facebook Live.
Made it to the big screen.
Malika's in the house.
Malika, what's going on?
Yes. Mrs. Walden. All right. It's going to be a good night. Sherry's here. I mean,
Sherry's in the building.
all the important people are here already. Hi, Sonia. Thank you. You too.
Hi.
You're at work. Sherry's always at work, at school, at one of her 18,000 jobs. All right. So we don't want to make this like an all-night thing. So what we'll do, Mrs. Walden says hi.
Hi, Miss Walden.
So we'll start off, talk about our story, how we got started. I'll answer all of your questions. So we'll do that before you guys start firing off any questions, because I don't want to miss anything. We get a lot of duplicate questions. So I figure if we hit all of these, we'll probably answer most of your questions. And then if we have time, we can take a few others. And we can always do another one in the future if, you know, this was actually helpful to you guys. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay. So you probably heard me talk about it before. I was introduced to LuLaRoe back in March of 2016. Malika says hi.
Hi, Malika.
And I was actually in Portland. For all of you that don't know, my husband's still stationed in California, Southern California, and my son and I are here at my mother-in-law's home in Virginia Beach. So March of 2016, an old coworker of mine from like a lot of years ago, probably 10 years ago or so, invited me to an online Facebook party. And I ignored it and I ignored it. And for whatever reason, I got a little curious and I attended her party. The first thing I bought was the Amelia dress, and I bought a couple pair of leggings. And for me, it wasn't the leggings that sold me. It was the Amelia dress. The buttery soft leggings were great, but that Amelia dress was just like, I want to know more about this company. So I was on vacation visiting my family in Portland. I started Googling it because I'd never heard of it. And then I started watching YouTubes. And I couldn't believe what these ladies, at that time, there were not 50,000 YouTube channels about LuLaRoe. Mind you, this company was way smaller just a few months ago in March. So I did that, and then I heard the stories about these women making lots and lots of money. I'm like, this can't be real. And even the stories with them being emotional and crying, I'm like, I don't believe them. They're lying. There has to be more to this. And so I started Googling, trying to find anything, hi Mom, anything wrong with the company, negatives. And at that time, there were absolutely none. And I'm like, this is so bizarre. Like, this can't even be right. So I just kept watching YouTubes. I couldn't sleep at night. I went to bed thinking about LuLaRoe. I seriously watched YouTubes until my eyes burned, and I had to force myself to go to sleep, and then I'd wake up. Yeah, he remembers.
That is a fact.
Yeah, and that's when you know that you need to be a LuLaRoe consultant, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, that happened, and then I came home from vacation. I got all the items that I ordered, and I loved everything. Yes. Yes.
Yes, love SoCal weather. Definitely.
And so but yeah, I loved everything once I got it in person. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need more stuff. And the consultant that I bought from, she didn't really have an amazing inventory. She didn't have a lot to offer. I don't know if she did primarily in-home pop-ups and didn't post everything online, but she didn't have a lot to offer. And so I started on my hunt for more items. And I went from being in one group to probably 50 groups. I don't even know. And I was searching. I wanted to get my hands on any and everything that was LuLaRoe. Every pair of leggings I could find, every Amelia dress, just everything. Sorry guys, having connection issues. So yeah, so I tried to get my hands on anything and everything that was LuLaRoe. After that, not a lot of people know this whole story, and it's kind of weird with me getting so personal with all of our information on the internet, but it is what it is. So I have a background, you're kind of jumping around just a little bit, but I have a background in finance and in the auto industry. I managed a subprime auto finance company in Portland, and it moved me to Tacoma, Washington. I worked for a credit card company, a lot of finance stuff, sales, marketing, working in internet sales, working at dealerships, like that type of stuff. And then moving around, when I met my husband, my career path really changed. It was really hard to find work because of the job gaps that I had and all that type of stuff. And then also adding in that I became a mother. So it was really hard to find something that I could take with me moving from state to state, and something that could help support our family and allow me to be at home, which nothing was really helping. So I decided to go back to school, and we made a major life decision we were in Southern California at the time, to uproot myself and my son here to Virginia Beach, because it was extremely expensive. So my husband got a roommate. We were paying, what was it, like $2,700 in rent, not including utilities and things. We had a lot of expenses, and we are on the Dave Ramsey plan to paying off debt. And so we knew we had to make some kind of a change, some kind of a sacrifice. We didn't want to be a slave to debt. We wanted to have a better life for our family, especially when my husband retires in less than 2 years. So I decided, well, I need to be on a career path. So I decided to go into nursing school, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. So my son and I moved here, started going to nursing school, and I was doing well. But I wasn't sleeping. I was busy. I couldn't see my son. I was missing my husband. I was living and breathing the nursing student life. And as much as I was loving that so far, I don't know, I wasn't feeling completely convinced that it was supposed to be my career path. And I didn't want to tell my friends and my family, after getting into nursing school, being so excited about it, that I was yet again going in a different direction. I've done a lot of different things in my life. So it was a really tough decision. And so anyways, when I was in Portland and I started researching LuLaRoe after that party, when I started nursing school, in the back of my mind, I was thinking about only LuLaRoe. When I wasn't studying for my test for school, I was online watching YouTubes. It was ridiculous. It consumed my life. And I don't know, my husband probably could tell that that's what I wanted to do, but I know he didn't want to hear it.
No. No, I thought, nursing school was going to be, that solid career path for her. And I know she loves helping people. So, I figured that would be, something that would be, great for her. And, of course, you make good money, in nursing and, something solid. Mm-hmm. So, I would have never imagined that, LuLaRoe was going to be that solid foundation that she was actually looking for, that she would be able to make very good money and be happy doing it. So that made me happy at the end of the day. And she was able to spend a lot of time. She spends a lot of time with our son, and it's amazing. It's been an amazing ride so far, and it's just started.
Yeah. So my husband pretty much knew, like, when I wasn't talking about class, Tanya, when I wasn't talking about nursing, I was talking about LuLaRoe and all the amazing things that I ordered. And then I was telling him about, oh my gosh, these women are making like $12,000 a month, $20,000 a month. They're getting, and that's just sales, not including bonuses. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we could do this. And he was listening, he was like, but it wasn't like pure excitement at first. And I was waiting for that, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and quit nursing school, which I knew wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. No, I was very excited about the nursing school. I was excited about that. But then, yes, she started talking about women were making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I was like, let me do my own research. So I started YouTubing the same videos she was YouTubing and more. And I could not find any negative feedback from anybody who was doing this.
They were all successful in some capacity.
Right. And these were just regular women, didn't even have anything near the experience of selling anything that Janora has. These just regular women, and they were just like, hey, you know what? I love clothes. I want to sell them. Let's put them on the internet. Let's do pop-ups, and boom, they're making tons of money. I'm like, you know what? We need to do this.
Yeah. And so at some point, it started to reflect in my schooling, as far as like my test grades and just like, I don't know, my drive. Like, it just wasn't 100%. And it was like something was telling me that I needed to do more, and maybe this wasn't the path. And sometimes for me, and for everyone that's not religious, I'm not pushing that, but sometimes you think you know God's plan and you don't, and he's leading you one place to take you to another, and it doesn't really all make sense right away. And that's kind of been my life story, and especially to how I met my husband and all that. Let's save that for another day. But anyways, so so then I finally had the courage to come to my husband. I'm crying and telling him that I don't think that I want to do this nursing thing anymore, that I want to pursue LuLaRoe. And I hated us being apart, across the country from each other. I hated not even seeing my son, even though I would be in class, from 7 to 4 or 5 or whatever, and then clinicals. Even when I was home, I was studying until I fell asleep. And it was just, the timing for me at this point in my life wasn't really right. And I wasn't like gung-ho anymore. So I started to figure out my why in life is that I didn't so much just want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to contribute to our family. I just wanted something that I could do at home, something that was flexible, that we could take anywhere we lived, something that could bring our family together, retire my husband from the Army. When you think about it, it's kind of a lot. And there was just no business that we could do that could do that, what LuLaRoe can do. And there was no, like, what are they called, direct sales company, like all that stuff and not knocking any direct sales company, but that stuff just didn't seem like you could make a real career out of, to me. Like for me, it just wasn't real tangible, just something that interested me. But LuLaRoe is just so different. We've owned a business, an online shoe business before. We've had to invest a lot of money, and we slowly discovered we didn't have enough capital to keep the company going. It wasn't because we were having a little success, but it takes years and years to actually become profitable, and we just underestimated how much money it truly takes to start and run a business. So we are entrepreneurs, and we've always wanted to be business owners, so it kind of went hand in hand. So anyways, fast forward, I finally told him about it, and he said, okay, yes. And then the next question was, okay, so how are we going to do this? We don't have quite enough money to do it. And at the time, the package, you get a 5% discount when you purchase your package for LuLaRoe. And it was like, I think it came to like $5,200 after the 5% discount. And then you have to factor in buying racks and hangers, lighting, bags, just whatever, printers, label printers, whatever you buy. So we did have some money in our savings because, like I said, we were on the Dave Ramsey plan, paying off debt, saving up money. And then I figured, okay, at the time, the wait was about 12 to 14 weeks to onboard. And so I'm like, hi, Glow. Maybe we'll have time to, or no, I'm like, we will have time to save up the rest. Like, we will make the sacrifice and get the money together. So that's what we did. We took the money we had in savings, and then I onboarded sooner than expected. So my lovely parents, who are amazing and always, support me in all of my endeavors, were able to assist us in the rest of the money that we needed to onboard, so that when I got my call, I'd be ready and I wouldn't have to tell them I don't have the money and have to wait another, 6 weeks or whatever it could be. So that's what we did. Credit cards is not an option for us. We're in the process of paying off debt, which will be done this year. Thank you, Jesus. So yeah, so for some, it is a great option for you to get a credit card or a loan or something like that. But if you can save the money or sell anything and everything possible to do this business, do it. But if you have to use a credit card, don't worry about it. I'm telling you, you can make the money back in less than a month if you decide to do that. So, startup costs. Inventory alone is going to cost you, it's going to fluctuate somewhere between $5,200 and $5,500. That's not including leggings. That's going to get you, I think it's around like 305 pieces, 310 pieces or so. Thank you. It's kind of weird. It puts us in a vulnerable place, and look, I'm getting hives doing this. But this is what I looked for when I was on YouTube. I was looking for an honest story about how people got there, like no fluff. And so we're trying to provide that to you. Hey, Kara. Hi, Miss Sheila.
Hi, Miss Sheila.
So where was I at? Okay, so that inventory, if you add on, which you probably want to add on that leggings package, you're looking at around that $6,000 price point, and not including the things that you'll need to get your business started, which can range anywhere from a couple $100s to some people spend an extra $1,000, which I don't think is completely necessary. And I can really provide you with a list of things that you need to get started, but I would say maybe $400 additional dollars to get. You don't need the best of everything as far as lighting and things like that. So yes, you're looking at around the $6,000-ish range. We started at around $7,000 because we chose to add on the Carly. When I onboarded July 11th, they introduced that new style, and I knew that it was going to sell and it was going to be amazing. So we added on. We purchased additional Carlys. We purchased, added on Julia's and the leggings, and I purchased from my sponsor, because they're amazing, some Joys, because at the time we had to order them in bulk, like 40 at a time, and I couldn't afford that because I just paid all this money. And so I purchased a few from them. So we added on a good deal of inventory, which is not completely necessary, but from everything that I had watched, the more you have, the more you sell. And I'm going to tell you that simply is the case. Now, understand that you can sell starting at that 305, 310 piece startup, but you're going to make more money if you can invest a little bit extra.
Yes.
Also, what was I going to say about that? If you choose to add on inventory, make sure you can afford to add on a full line. I'm hard-headed. People told me don't do it unless you can afford to purchase 10 pieces, per size, so people have options. And some things I started off with half a line. If you don't have the selection, you're not going to sell as much. So I definitely think if I would have started off with even a little bit more, you would have even made more money. Yes, Mom. And when you think about it, it seems like a lot of money in the very beginning. And like I said, you're going to make that back quickly, depending on your drive, depending on how hard you work. This business is work. And right now I do it by myself. My husband's not here. When he's here, he helps me. Like he helped me today. But that's because I have goals of wanting to cruise qualify and things like that. So I work as hard as I can. But yes, just like we said with the other business that we started up, it's significantly less to have something of your own. This is your own baby. You can build this from the ground up. You have wonderful inventory and an awesome company and a support system behind you. I mean, it's just nothing better. You're set up for success. There's weekly training. You have amazing upline, especially if you sign up with us. But the key is definitely signing up with someone that you trust and someone that you click with and just they're just a great source. And they're reachable when you need them. It's extremely important. Where was I going with that? So, yeah. What was I talking about? You get going and then you're like, where else was I going with that? So, yeah, so the startup cost, it seems like a lot in the beginning, but once you do your research and you get started, it's really not. My goal, from everything that I watched in the beginning on YouTube, was that most of these, or all of these consultants were not taking any profit for at least like the first 2 or 3 months. And fortunately, we're in a position where my husband's income, can pay all the bills and provide food and all the things that we need. So I'm very thankful that we're in that position right now. So we were able to do that. So we were able to pay back on our investment. So I've been paying at least, I'd pay at least $1,000 at a time on the repayment on that. And then reinvesting everything else back into the inventory, because I knew, and I know now, that the more you have, the more you sell, and I needed to grow this inventory even bigger so I could build my client base and just everything. So we invested everything back into, well, I would say like 98%. We may have needed a little bit here and there that we took money from, but for the most part, everything went back. Until this past month, like last week, when my husband came to town, I was just so thankful that I was able to, book us a hotel room at our favorite hotel and pay for dinner and go shopping, and for like such little things. But I'm like, just makes you feel so empowered. And getting a little bit personal, like I feel I lost that for a while and became a little depressed in life. And I'm starting to figure out that I was in like a mild depression for years because I wasn't feeling fulfilled. Even just being a mother and a spouse, like not being able to contribute financially like I wanted to, not being in a career field that I just absolutely loved, and I wasn't giving back like I wanted to. LuLaRoe has given that all to us, given all that to me and to my family. I can actually say with this income, once my husband retires, that I could support our family and not have to depend on him. Like that's that's insane. Exciting for him. Just insane. Something that we can do together. It just makes me happy, and just my own perspective, like it's brought a light back into me. I'm just happy all around, just as a person, feeling complete. And I thought nursing was the only thing that could give me that feeling of satisfaction of giving back and helping others. But LuLaRoe has done that. Amen. Yes, Miss Sheila. I like to go off on tangents. So, anyways.
And as a husband, I'm very happy that she has, she makes, I don't even know how much money is in there. But I can tell you.
Purposely, you did not know.
There's some money in there.
Yes.
There's some money in there. She's, she buys a lot of stuff that, you know, doesn't have to come out of, you know, our account, you know, from, you know, the money I make from the Army, but, you know, and that's our money. But a lot of things, like last month, she didn't touch that account. And, you know, her and our son were going to these different shows and, you know, eating out all the time and going to Chuck E. Cheese and going to buy clothes and
That's a business expense. I needed those clothes and shoes. No, not clothes, shoes, and accessories.
Right. You know, she has all these different accessories, all this stuff. Not $1 came out of our account, you know, from the check that I bring for the family.
Thank you, Miss Sheila.
And I was like, wow, like, this is really working. This is really, you know, this is for real. I mean, and she's having fun doing it. And I was like, I couldn't be more happier to say, you know, that I actually, you know, I supported this and I saw the vision, I saw the drive. And I was like, you know what? If you're excited about that, you have no choice but to be successful at the end of the day. And she's become very successful in this business in a very short amount of time.
Thank you, kind sir. So, okay. So you were supported from the beginning. When was that moment that you felt like this is really something and like our business was going somewhere? Like from the beginning, or was there a certain sale or what?
Well, when I knew that this was for real is when, you know, at the beginning I was definitely I was a little skeptical. Here's the part that I couldn't understand. All right. And I would always ask her, how much money did you make after every sale? How much money did you make? How much money did you make? You know, I'm a money guy. I'm motivated by money. So I always wanted to know, you're doing these sales every other week, every week, 3 times a week. How much money did you make? And she could never tell me exactly how much money she could make because, you know, she was like, well, everybody has to sign their Google invoices. I didn't understand all that. I just wanted to know how much money you make, right? So, but at the end of the day, it was...
And I was placing orders constantly, and he's like, how are you making money?
Right.
And all you're doing is ordering.
That's the part that I couldn't understand. I was like, you're doing these sales, but then you're reinvesting the money. She would always tell me, I'm reinvesting into the business. And then I finally understood why she was doing that, because the more clothes she had, the more she was selling and the more profit she was gaining. So without additional clothes, she would be selling the same thing every single week. And for you women that buy from her all the time,
thank you.
She's always coming with new products. If she was coming with the same product every time, you know, most of you guys would move on to the next consultant.
Right.
So she reinvests most of the money. At the same time, she's profiting money to be able to do things without digging into the money that I bring to the table.
Right. Never once did we have to go into our personal checking account to fund LuLaRoe.
Never.
Which was satisfying for me that it was just coming out of the money that I was making. Yes. And here it brings another really big point. For all of you that are thinking about the business, in LuLaRoe, there are so many ways for you to be successful and for you to make money. And that's what drew me in. The company was founded upon in-home pop-ups, having parties at people's homes, having open houses, things like that. And then it slowly evolved into Facebook sales, Periscope sales, album sales, stuff like that. We're not allowed to operate in store settings or have a private internet website to sell on, for any of you that have wondered about that. We can only sell through like Facebook and Periscope. So for me, staying at our mother-in-law's home, I don't have the space to set up like a Lula room like a lot of these girls have. They've dedicated basements or rooms to set up a shop for people to come in. So that was out of the question. Pop-ups, I can do that from time to time, but with having my son, I can't be out doing 3 or 4 a day. And I could be making a lot more money, and that will happen with time. But at this moment in time, it's just not an option for me. So what that left me with is selling online, selling in Facebook album sales, going on Facebook Live and selling on Periscope. You can be successful with having just one of those components. You will be more successful if you can tap into all those different markets and you are going to do this full time. Then you can really make the big money that you're seeing on YouTube. But in the beginning, I did I onboarded on July 11th. I got my inventory. I think my first sale was like the 21st or 22nd or something. So I only had like a week of selling. Yep, exactly. It's your own business. So you make your own schedule. You decide how you want to run it, with the exceptions of some, rules that are set in place from LuLaRoe. So I had to sell online. So in the beginning, I did like Facebook sale, album sale. I did live sale, and I did like a few small ones on Periscope. So I had less than a week, and it was really like 3 or 4 sales, and I had made like, I don't know, it was like $3,000 or something in less than a week. And I wasn't on like selling hard, like in all the multi-consultant sales, no pop-ups, no nothing. That was about what I made in less than a week. And then the next month came around. I started doing like one multi-sale a week. And I kind of learned that, you sell a few items here and there. It just kind of depends. And then doing a weekly album sale, throwing in like one live sale. I did a few parties in August, not a lot, and I only worked for maybe 3 weeks because I was on vacation a lot this summer. And I made, it was between 7,000 and 8,000 in less than 3 weeks. And that was just seriously minimally selling live and on Facebook, like an album sale. No live, nothing. Nothing, you guys. Just imagine. I would have hit, to cruise qualify with this company, you have to hit $12,000 in sale a month for 4 months in a row. If I would have had that extra week, or put in the extra time, extra sales, I would have definitely hit it. This past September, now, I took a few days off because my husband came, and got a little lazy at the end of the month. But we ended at just under 11 grand. I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Knowing that I did this by myself. Like, that's the most gratifying part. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it is so much work, you guys. I can't even tell you. I knew it would be work. People told me this. I watched the videos. But until you get into it, it is no joke with internet sales, because it doesn't end after that sale is over. That's when my night begins, with invoicing, collecting payments, staying on top of people, shipping, and booking parties, because I wanted to be able to make some good money to crack down and pay off our debt so we can get our dream home and bring my handsome husband home from the military. So I'm super happy about that. If I would have just kept going hard that last week of the month and not took any days off and just got lazy, I definitely would have hit my 12,000. Because I went from in the beginning making maybe, $500 or $600 in a sale to making $3,000 in a sale. Halloween was over 3 grand in 2 hours, and a lot of my sales are always right around the $2,200–$2,500 in sales. And I'm not saying that to brag, and anyone who knows me or anyone that's in my group, that's not my jam. Thank you, girl. I just want to share that because we're all looking for that one person that's kind of close to home that we connect with and we trust to hear some real numbers and just hear the real deal. So that's a roundabout. It's not like to the T, what I've been making in the past couple months. So again, I only had less than a week in the end of July when I onboarded to sell. And so August and September. August I worked maybe 3 weeks. September I was in Portland too. So I had like another 3 weeks, you guys, 3 weeks in September, and I made 11 grandish in 3 weeks. And that's working, a few days a week. Now this past month, I have done a lot of online parties. I do 3 to 4 online parties a week, and I combine most of them. Yes, my hives I've still got a few. They're starting to cool down a little bit. So this is real. And for all of you mothers, even if you're not a mother, if you're just looking for something else where you can be home and make good money, be able to have financial freedom, have freedom from an employer, just from I've worked in toxic environments, been cursed at, talked down to, where it doesn't matter how much you sell or how much you bring to the company. It's never enough. It's always about the next month or the next day. It's just not satisfying. It's just like, wow, like I'm one of those people, I give my all in everything I do, and it was just like never enough. And now it's a race against myself. Like, I am pushing myself to do better, and there's so much self-gratification in this. So, you can come from so many backgrounds to do this business. You can work it full-time, you can work it part-time. It's what you make it. One of the questions that I had was, what's the toughest part of being a LuLaRoe consultant? And I would definitely say for me, it is time management. Oh, thank you, Brittany. And like I said, it does seem like a big chunk of money, but I made the conscious decision to reinvest the money for the first couple of months. If we had not, we would have paid off that investment the first month. But you can definitely pay off, depending on your pace, pay it off in 3 to 4 months. I mean, we're on track to be able to pay off the rest of our debt. We're trying to do it next month, and we invested about $7,000 into that. Most businesses, you are not enjoying profit for a year or even several years. So this is just crazy. So whatever you can do to come up with the money, I would highly encourage you to do it. You will make it back as long as you work the business. The product sells itself. Yes, that is true. You have to find your customer base. You have to get out there and market yourself, and people have to get to know who you are and what you offer. So that's the hardest part. You've got to get out there and get on Instagram and on Facebook and get out there in person and tell people what LuLaRoe is and why you're doing it. Because a lot of this business is people liking you. And that's been the case in a lot of positions that I've held in my professional career. I didn't always sell like the best product, but I sold myself well. They loved me, and so they wanted to buy from me. You don't have to have a sales background to be a consultant. If you don't love doing live sales and you're uncomfortable doing that, you don't have to do that. You can just do Facebook album sales. You can just do pop-ups. You can just do in-home like open houses once or twice a month if you want to. You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of it. And of course, that's going to determine how quickly you can pay back the money. But back to the toughest part of my job, is, I would say, setting a schedule and setting boundaries and sticking to that. LuLaRoe is so fun and exciting. The work is intense, and I'm tired at the end of the day. I'm exhausted. But it's so exciting, and it's so fun, and it's hard to turn it off. And until recently have I really been implementing turning off Messenger, and sometimes I still don't. Put it on airplane mode, turning off notifications, because life of a LuLaRoe consultant is your phone is constantly going off. And my husband has seen it where I know you guys think it's just you sometimes asking me questions, but I have 4 or 5 chats open on Facebook. My Messenger is just going bonkers. Notifications.
Ding, ding, ding.
It is. I go to sleep with the ding, ding, ding in my brain. So I just started turning my phone off, and I'm learning to really set hours, because it can consume your whole day. You can be on Facebook all day long and Instagram, and it can be a lot. And I don't want this to take over my life and to turn into burnout. So that's the struggle. If you can implement that early on in your career in LuLaRoe, you will be golden. So do that so it doesn't affect, because LuLaRoe always says that they want you to have a happy home first and be a great mother and spouse first before you're a LuLaRoe consultant. So, I mean, this company is amazing, you guys. Watch some YouTubes. Watch Deanne and Mark, the founders of the company. Their hearts are pure gold, and they're all about giving. And I just found the perfect place. So, do you want to add something before I start going on?
I know you asked me earlier, when did I realize that it was when I knew this thing was real. I'm sure a few, maybe all of you were on that one live show when she was selling the Halloween leggings, right? Well, I was on there too. I was helping one lady. I was trying to get her sold for this one lady that but she had dyslexia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to. So if you were on there, you saw me trying to hit sold.
Yeah.
But there was over 3,000 comments, and every single thing that she put on the screen sold every single thing.
Every pair of leggings I had sold that night, you guys, in 2 hours.
I was sold. I was like a pair of leggings. I was sold. You know, number 467 sold. That was me. I was number 467. So, you know, I realized at that point that you know it's the product that, you know, everyone loves. And I'm like, wow, you know, this is for real. And it doesn't take a major sales pitch to do it. You hold up the clothes, you put a number on it, and then it sells itself.
You just got to find your customers, you guys. That's the important part.
Right.
Building your brand.
But you bought leggings.
No,
I'm gonna wear some leggings one day.
Oh,
you're
man.
Right. When I find the right pair of leggings, I'm wearing them. So yeah, definitely. It's like she said, you have to find you. But I've been an Army recruiter for 9 years. Now that's a hard sell. Carrie Rojas is on here right now. I think she's still on here. She can tell you that's a hard sell. You can't just put a number on it and make it go. But if you have the base, you know, the customer base, and if you have Janora as your team leader, sponsor, then, you know, you're already, you know, ahead of the game. You're already ahead of the game. So because she's gonna help you like as if you were her sister. You know, that's just how she is. You know, she has a big heart, and if you sign up under her, then she's gonna make sure you're as successful as her. And her phone is constantly going off. People that sign up under other consultants will hit her up, and she'll give them the entire blueprint of what she did to make herself successful, and she gets nothing from that. That's just pure, you know, just niceness. That's just her heart. So I'm like, wow, this woman didn't even sign up. No, she's already signed up under somebody else, but their sponsor isn't taking care of her, so I'm going to take care of her. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, and it's a good thing. And you know, she just gives back. So I say, you know, when you finally get your team, you're going to have a strong team, because you're going to have a lot of consultants that are going to be right underneath you that are going to be doing the same thing, and everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, so I do have a team member now, Miss Chastity Rains, and she onboarded, gosh, how long has it been? I don't know if Chastity's on here, but it's been a couple months, and she's kicking butt. She is a prime example of someone who has a full-time job, doesn't have any plans of leaving that, but wants, I'm not going to put her business out there, but wants to earn extra, you know, cash. And she's doing it. You know, life throws you curveballs, and you kind of have to figure out your groove and what works for you, and just trying not to do too much at a time. Once you figure that out, you are extremely successful. Yes, Chastity, I love her. I love my Chattanooga family. I could cry because I have so many great roots in Chattanooga. From the short amount of time we were there, I met some amazing folks.
Chat-town.
Yes. So with being on someone's team, like being on my team, my sponsors are amazing. So you not only get my assistance, but you also get my entire upline. And my sponsor's upline is the mentor in the company, Lisa Jones. Lisa Jones was the very first consultant on the East Coast. And she's one of those women that are making a whole lot of money that you wouldn't even imagine. I'm talking about more than a surgeon. Crazy. She's worked her butt off, and now we have, what, 45,000 consultants, and she was like one of the first handful in the company. So we have an amazing upline and a lot of resources, and the company has training every week. So it's really set up for you to be successful. They don't leave you, they don't take your money and then you're high and dry. Quick point with LuLaRoe. Let's say you get your inventory and you decide something happens, dramatic happens, you have to get out. You don't like it. You don't want to sell it anymore for whatever reason. LuLaRoe will buy your inventory back, you guys. There's like I have to look up the exact number to make sure it's still the same, but it's like a 15% cut that they take out of that for a restocking fee. You send them whatever is left in your inventory and they will give you your money back. Like, what other business is like that? And really, you don't have to take a loss because you can sell to other consultants that need your inventory. Excuse me. And not take a loss at all. And then whatever you bought, your racks, your lighting kit, your iPad or whatever, you can sell that on Craigslist or eBay or to another consultant.
Sonia has a good question.
What is that?
How do you stop temptation when receiving new inventory? I feel like that would be a struggle.
I know. Girl, yes, it is an ongoing struggle. And sometimes I take things and I put it aside, or I'll put it in my closet and I think about it and I'm like, no, I don't need it. My thing is I try not to take anything that doesn't have a duplicate, because it's most of the stuff that I love, I know someone else will love too, and I don't want to be greedy. But just because you become a consultant doesn't mean that you don't have unicorns of your own. So I still buy from my friends, my other Lula sisters. Love you too, Puff. I still buy from other people. Although I have like all this inventory, yeah, the struggle is an ongoing process, Sonia, for sure. So anyways, when I was talking about LuLaRoe paying or buying your inventory back, for me, that was like extra insurance and another reason to just go all in, because we literally had nothing to lose. Nothing. If it didn't work, we send it back and get our money back and go on with life. So don't let that be discouragement for you.
What if you don't know the prints?
Okay. So as most of you know, all of us consultants have different prints. This is part of what makes LuLaRoe so amazing, and it helps all of us consultants become successful. And for any of you that are worried about saturation, you don't need to worry about that, because you're not ordering from a catalog. You're ordering, each consultant has different inventory. So we all have unique items. We constantly need other people. Like I said, I'm still buying from other consultants, even though I have my own, you know, hundreds and hundreds of pieces of inventory. Oh, watch the replay, girl. I'm going to leave it up. I know it's great to get both perspectives. So we all have something to offer, all of us. And so, and the way that LuLaRoe is making and they're going to stop, they're going to cap it at, I think I read that today, at 5,000 prints. Like, you know, they make, you know, one particular print, in a style and disperse it across the country. So it's still limited edition pieces that you'll never ever see again. Ever. You guys know how it is. So you don't have to worry about it. We're all equally as important, all 45,000 of us in the company. We're still a baby company, 3 years old. Let's see. Oh. Oh, sure.
All right.
You can read it because it's like chicken scratch for real.
So, can you receive or can you request specific items?
No. When we place our orders, there's a couple things I need to answer now. Okay, so no. When we place our orders, depending on how much you sell, that'll determine how often you're ordering. I started off ordering once per week. Now I order at least twice, 2 to 3 times per week. We have to, right now you have to order 33 pieces of items to remain active in a 30-day period. But that is now changed. I think it started now, or it's starting soon. It's going to sales, like selling 33 pieces a month to stay active. So anyways, when you get our inventory, when we order, we say we want 10 medium Cassies, we want 5 large Irmas, whatever we need. That's all we have. That's all we can do. We have no idea what we're gonna get. It's like Christmas. Every single week, every time I get a shipment from UPS, I have no idea what I'm getting.
All right, Janora, is there enough business beyond friends and family?
Okay, so I know a lot of you have this question. Like, you start the business, or a lot of different direct sales. Yeah, you're selling to all your friends and your family, and then it's like you have no one else to sell to. For me, when I signed up with this, I didn't want to sell to my friends and family. I didn't even want to add them to my group. Like, I wanted people to organically be able to come into my group and just want to be there. Although I did add a lot of, I did add family, and I did add some select friends and acquaintances that I thought might be open to the idea of LuLaRoe. Let me go back to the question before I get too off on it. Oh, so I didn't want to be primarily friends and family because I knew there was a following already. So with LuLaRoe, you don't even have to add one friend or family member to your group because there is such a following. You don't have to sell anything to them. You don't have to beg them to have a party for you. You just have to find your customer base, just getting out there and telling people who you are. So before I got my inventory, you guys, a lot of you probably remember. No, but you just don't want to. I never liked the idea of pressuring sales on my friends and family. To me, not knocking any other direct sales companies, there's nothing more irritating than someone trying to sell you lotion or home goods, whatever, makeup, whatever it is. Like, it's so irritating. And I didn't want to do that to my friends and family. But I knew with clothing it's different, and women always will need clothing. That will never change. So this is just something totally different. And the fact that we have our own shop in our home. So I know I kind of got off on that, but you don't need to necessarily sell to friends and family.
All right, so what are your percentages of profit?
Okay, so when you heard me say my sales last month were 11 grandish. So basically what happens, like, after we've paid off our investment, and all that stuff, we would enjoy about half of that. And then you've got taxes. LuLaRoe takes care of your sales tax. That's subtracted, in the back office system, and they take care of those, but you have to take care of your federal. So what you do, whatever you sell, at the very minimum, you need to replace what you sell. So every week, after I'm having my pop-ups and my online sales, I'm placing an order. I do it a couple times a week. So you're going to invest about half of your money back into inventory. You can't survive off of selling everything you have and not replenishing it. If you don't, and you sold everything and you have one or two items, like you have one or two Irmas in a size small, it'll be a miracle if you sell one, because most people are not going to find what they want by having two. And for me, before I was a consultant, I would go and find a new group. Like, she has nothing to offer. I need to move on. So I'm still building a couple of areas, but for the most part, like my Amelias, I'm still not quite there because they're pretty expensive to add on. You'll learn that. But you really need to have a good inventory base.
So how much to order, and how long before you start making a profit?
Okay. So like I said, before it was a minimum that you had to order per month, but now the company is shifting to sales, which is awesome because they're making it so it's not so much about like that negative vibe of, oh, we just have to keep ordering from you and you're what's the word, profiting off of this, but we're not selling it, and so we're not really being successful or making money. And they're kind of going away from that whole negative vibe. So just over there, I always go off tangent and they're like, what was I talking about?
No, just how much to order.
Oh yeah, so you need to at minimum replace what you sold. If you sold 5 Irmas this week, you need to replace with 5. The first couple months I would replace and then add on a couple extra pieces at a time until I would get to a full line, which is like 10 items per size.
So what happens to the seasonal items if you have, say for instance, some
Halloween leggings
left over for some reason?
Yeah. So now, sometimes that happens. For me, for Halloween, I can't remember how many leggings I bought, but I sold them all in less than 2 hours on top of like other inventory. It was crazy. So I don't really have that problem right now, but I know that it can happen. And there are some consultants that order a lot and they still have Christmas leggings or Valentine's Day leggings from last year. They will sell. Like, people are looking for these things year round. Everything I had another question about, like, what do you do with like pieces of inventory you think won't sell or that are ugly? Yeah, that happens to all of us, you guys. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, who's gonna buy this? This is so ugly. I'm telling you, they say everything will sell. It will. In some cases, it may take somebody a year to sell it, but you will. Everybody's taste is different, and I've learned that you can't, everything in your shop, it can't be everything that you love, because that's what makes us all great, is that we're all unique. We all enjoy different things, and our production team and buyers, you know, or not buyers, because everything, designers and everything, they take all that into consideration. They have a whole entire team. So they have something for everybody. So everything will sell in due time. It may take you several months, but it will sell. The best way to do that is broadening your customer base. Don't just sell online if you can avoid that. Or like me, I do a lot of parties, private parties. So it's new inventory. I have new eyes looking at this inventory all the time. If you have the same people watching, you do the same stuff every week, your well's going to run dry. You've got to get a new set of eyes in front of this inventory constantly. So you will notice that your inventory will start to turn once you do that. Also, if you get duplicates sometimes, and if you get something that doesn't sell, you've got local consultants that you can swap with, like our team. We can swap with each other, things that we need to get rid of and kind of freshen up things. That's an option. Multi-consultant sales, things like that. But everything goes.
Okay. Is there a minimum to sell each month?
I already covered that.
I already covered that. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
What made me want to be a consultant? We already covered that.
So we already covered that whole life story. If you guys missed that, watch the replay. Some good stuff.
Oh, here's a good one. Why does LuLaRoe not make more unicorn prints?
Okay. That is a very fair question, because we all know the struggle, right? All of us have been on the hunt for something and haven't been able to find it. And it's so frustrating because someone hit sold before you. And you're like, I hit sold first, but your internet connection was not fast enough, like on for Halloween. Stuff like that. That's going to happen. Like I said, they make a certain number of prints and everything. They're being distributed amongst 45,000 plus, that's climbing every single day, consultants. That is what makes LuLaRoe special, you guys. And also, who's to say that pizza leggings are a unicorn item? They're not a unicorn item to me. I could care less about pizza leggings. But there are people out there that are obsessed over them and want them and need them. Or donut leggings, or something with bears. Like, it's something different for us all. What makes it a unicorn is that it's something that you want, something that you desire, and there's not that many of, and you want to get your hands on it. Take that away. It takes away a lot of the excitement in LuLaRoe. It's what makes it unique. This isn't, they'd say that they don't make mall clothes. You're not going in there and shopping. Everybody's getting the same print and the same color or something. It's just not that.
What do we do when it's slow, when it's in such demand?
Okay, so for anyone that's in retail, whatever you're selling, from clothing to cars, whatever, J months are notoriously slow. After the holidays, and then June and July, people are going on vacation with their families. But like I was saying earlier, you may see a slump in your sales because there's no big holidays, people are on vacation or they're recovering from holidays. If you're constantly booking parties, you won't see a big dip. You're still going to have some good sales. Offer your hostesses some great perks, and you'll have some awesome parties.
Okay, we're getting down to, I think we've covered pretty much all the questions.
Oh, and someone asked about booking pop-ups. What are we doing? Oh, another thing that I wanted to cover was that LuLaRoe is constantly, you probably noticed, offering new designs. We're growing as a company, so we're introducing new styles. It's always keeping it fresh, so people always want more. I know I do. And then, wait, go back down. And someone asked about booking pop-ups and how difficult is it, for doing that. it's gotten easier for me. And again, I just pretty much do online. I'm doing my first in-person, like out of my home, in the next couple of weeks. But what I do, and I do like 3 or 4 at a time, online parties, private parties. I usually rebook off of those parties, like referrals. So once you get the ball rolling, it's like an unstoppable machine, you guys. As long as you keep working it, it's gonna, oh my gosh, like it's amazing. So don't worry about that. Oh, yes, Mom. And this is a big reason. This is what really makes you a believer is when you see this money hit your account. So after you've done the credit card transaction goes through our back office system, we usually get payment. I noticed it was like 2 to 3 days. Maybe it's 3. They probably have up to like 4 days now, maybe. But I feel like I see it like between 2 and 3 business days. It's in my account. So it's like by transaction date. So it'll be, one day $3,000 hit my account, $1,000, $500. Someone made a payment later on, so I've got like 200 something coming this day. Every day I've got money hitting my account. Like, how amazing is that?
There's money hitting her account like almost every day or every other day.
Every day.
And there's packages coming in every week. Like 2-3 times a week. She's getting new packages.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like a constant just exchange between, money, new shipment.
Shipping out,
receiving.
All of that. So yeah, I'm not exaggerating, you guys. There are deposits hitting the account every day, and some days are smaller than others. But yeah, those big days, pretty awesome. Covered everything.
Did you cover the toughest parts?
Yeah, I did. Where I went over about managing time and setting boundaries.
Okay.
I think we. Oh, and let's go ahead and announce our leggings winner, because we already pulled like a random number. So from all of you that submitted your questions, one person won a free pair of leggings, and that person was Malika Coppage, girl. You won fair and square. So you won a free pair of mystery leggings. And I know your size because you order from me all the time. Thank you, girl.
Lucky.
Malika is one of my good friends from high school. And she's one of those great supportive friends. Not all of us have those. And so I just want to say thank you, Malika. And I have a few others that have been amazing to me as well. And I really appreciate you. Let's see, Crystal. What was, hold on, where's my phone? About the prints. Wasn't your question about the prints? We find prints that we can't sell. I answered that one. Yeah, I get stuff all the time that I think is ugly or won't sell. And then the answer was that everything does sell at some point. Or if it doesn't sell after a few months or a year, you can swap it with other consultants. Try selling on a multi-consultant group. But they make designs and colors that are attractive to all different types of people. So those crazy things like, I can't think of something right now, but oh, you're welcome, girl. They do sell. Okay. So I guess we can open it up for a few other questions if you guys have something that we did not answer already.
What if you feel like things won't look right on certain body types?
I don't think I've ever felt that things won't look right on certain body types because LuLaRoe, with all their styles, they make them to look gorgeous on no matter what size you are, extra, extra small, or 3XL. And I firmly believe that because I've seen it on all my beautiful customers that share their photos on my page. And I want to thank you all that do that because I don't ask you to do that. And I did it for like a giveaway one time, but I really appreciate that. And I firmly believe it. And then with our designer and with Patrick, with our company, there is so much that goes into designing these clothes, you guys. Like, they don't fit these items like with one model, like a size 6 model, and then do the sizing from there. Like, they fit a ton of different women in that size so they can get the right fit. And they're constantly changing. So you'll notice that sometimes you may have bought, like I bought a Randy back in March, and it fit much more snugly. Snug. more snug than the ones now. Like they're yeah, and they listen to feedback and they're like, okay, if it's fitting kind of tight, then we need to change that. And so they're more forgiving now and they're a little bit more roomy. And so they're constantly evolving. Okay, so to sign up, it's basically you sign up under a link. Like if you decide to sign up under us, you just message us. I'd send you the link. It has all the contract information, all the fine print, the things that you want to make sure that you read and cover and understand. Go over with your spouse. It'll answer a lot of questions. There's a lot of good information in that link other than just signing up. So it's a matter of filling out that info, filling out your bank checking information for depositing. That doesn't come to me. That goes to LuLaRoe, so I don't see any of that. And then the wait time is about 6 to 8 weeks. So once you say yes, you want to sign up, you're waiting about 6 to 8 weeks to get your phone call from home office. At that time, when you get that phone call, they say, it's seriously less than 5 minutes. Are you ready to onboard? You say yes. That's when you pay your money. So you don't pay a dime until you get your call. So the beauty of it is a couple great things. You have time to save up money, which was great for us because we did that. You got a month and a half to save more money. You have time to really process it and think about it and make sure it's the right decision for you, because you can pull the plug at any point and say, I don't want to do this anymore. Call up home office and they'll just take you off and it's over. It's done with.
Malika's asked, would you advise going in solo or adding a partner?
LuLaRoe, you cannot go in as a partner any longer. You have to, from my understanding, you have to have an LLC before you sign up for a partnership with LuLaRoe now. They just made that change recently. My sponsors are a duo. They're a mother-daughter duo, and they are very successful. But what I've seen I've seen some other teams, they end up splitting up and going their own ways. It can be a little bit difficult, a little challenging as far as workloads being fair, and then divvying up money. That can cause some issues. Yes, Marisol, we do. We all have our own return policies. Like right now, my policy is 7 days. I do exchanges, and I'm probably going to revisit that and look at maybe changing it to 2 weeks. But I won't be able to do 30 days. I mean, it's just different. We're not Walmart or Macy's. It's a very, very small business, and so yes, we all make our own policies on that.
If you decide to stop, can you come back to it down the road?
Yes, they do have a cooling off period, and I have to check just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 months that you have to wait. So even if you in the queue and you decide you don't want to do it anymore and they take you off, you have to wait a certain amount of time, and I'm pretty sure it's 6 months before you can revisit. You're welcome. Anything else? Yeah, that could get a little tricky with taxes too, Mom. You're right. And taxes, it really that's an individual basis. None of us can really give you advice on that because it's based on your own financial situation. You know, I've seen people put aside 10% of taxes all the way up to 40% in taxes. It's going to depend on your own situation, so you have to consult with the CPA on that. There's so much to do, Malika, when you're in the queue. All of us are different. I've always been like a self-starter. I research everything to the T. So when I was in the queue, basically by the time I signed up, I'd already watched 50,000 YouTubes, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was going to do to get this business up and running. So while I was in the queue, I set up my social media accounts, started building up my base, started doing giveaways in my group, just going live so people could get to know me, and just build up my numbers. Goodness, I mean, getting all of your necessities as far as, I highly suggest that Dymo printer, Dymo 4XL. It is amazing for shipping, getting your racks and your hangers. If you don't have an iPad or a laptop, you'll need that lighting. And you can find things pretty inexpensively, a tripod. You need to order all of those things, get business cards made. And I can provide you with a list of things to do. But it seems like a long time, and it felt like it was going to be eternity, but you will be so busy because there's so much to do to get your business up and running.
All right, so what do you get when signing up with us?
So we covered that a little bit earlier, but basically, I have a lot of experience in, you don't necessarily need sales, but I can help you with it. With sales, with marketing. I do solely online sales for the most part, so I can help you with that. I can help you with building your customer base. Just a lot. I've done a lot of things in my life, so I can help you with that. I have an amazing upline, and once you get on my team, you're added to that group of ladies, and so we all collaborate and can give great information. We have our own multi-consultant group that we run, and then I also my sponsors are under Lisa Jones, who is a mentor in the company, and there's even more valuable information. And you get fun, not just, you're going to have a successful business. That's the most important part, and I'm not going to let you sink. That's just not me. I want everyone to be successful.
Leave no one behind.
Yes. I'm an Army spouse.
Yeah.
We will never leave you behind.
We will never leave anybody behind. And I'm a successful recruiter. I manage recruiting stations. I've been doing that for 9 years, and Kerry Rojas to tell you, I'm one of the best in the country.
He's very competitive.
All right.
We're both competitive. We are kind of competitive. Yeah.
So, losing is not an option.
Nope.
Losing is not an option. So if we have somebody on the team and they're falling a little down, to the wayside, we're gonna go over there. We're gonna pick them up.
Yep.
We're gonna put them on our back, and we're gonna get you to where you need to be.
We're gonna keep going as long as you want to be there and you want to be successful. We'll be there for you until you say, I don't want to do this anymore. I give up. You give up on yourself. That's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
Oh, awesome, Crystal.
Cool.
And thank you for both of your service. Yep. So, but like we said, if you don't sign up with us in the business, make sure you sign up with someone that's very resourceful and is willing to help you and that you mesh with. That's right. All right. Well, you guys have anything else? That was pretty fun. And we can always come back and do something else another time. But
teamwork makes the dream work. That's what it says, right?
LuLaRoe,
it's happening.
Everything they say that LuLaRoe is and can do for you, it is true. It's absolutely true. Malika says she's in. Oh, Mimi. Oh, you can watch it later. So if you have any questions, you can send me. Thank you, Mom. Feel free to send me an instant a message on Facebook. You can email me, lularoejanora@gmail.com. I can send you the link. If you're interested in signing up, I can send you the link for that information. Things that you need, things that you can do while waiting in the queue, all that kind of resourceful stuff. I can help you with that. So message me, email me, and I'll get back to you ASAP. You're
Cubs.
welcome.
Thanks,
It's
Crystal.
amazing. It's a life-changing thing for sure, you guys.
All right.
Yay. Okay, you guys. Well, thanks for staying with us. Anyone that joined late, feel free to watch the replay. I'm just going to keep it up. You can comment and tag us below, and I'll still get back to you and answer your questions, okay? All right. I love you guys, and I'll be back tomorrow.
Bye.
Do sales, okay? All right. Good night. Good night, Tanya. Thanks, guys. Bye.